I first read the 1949 book 1984 in 2006, and then I reread 1984 in 2020, and then I watched the 1984 movie 1984 also in 2020. 1984 by George Orwell was published in 1949. It was Orwell's 9th and final book and his most famous. In this video, I'm going to compare Orwell's book to its film adaptation and tell you which one I like better. This video will contain spoilers, so here's your warning. This book follows the story of a character named Winston, who lives in a totalitarian hellscape known as Airstrip 1, which was formerly England before the Revolution. The world Winston lives in has been overtaken by 3 separate superstates: Oceania, which is the Americas, Australia, and the British Isles; Eurasia, which is Europe and Russia; and Eastasia, which is China and Japan mostly. Every facet of life is controlled by the party, or the government. It's an all-powerful, omnipresent, soul-crushing entity, and anyone who defects or even hints at defecting is vaporized and wiped from existence. They literally erase you from history. In Oceania and under Big Brother and Ingsoc, or English socialism, people live in crummy rundown buildings, often with no working appliances. That's because, a lot of productivity has stalled. Half the population walks around barefoot, even though the party claims millions of pairs of boots are produced each year. Children are spies, often turning in their parents for thought crimes against the party. Parents live in fear of their own children. History itself is rewritten or destroyed altogether. Newspaper articles, books, even old cartoons are constantly altered or incinerated altogether to make sure that they don't contradict anything in the present. Sex and romantic love have basically been outlawed for party members. Sex is only allowed for procreation. Every member of the party is watched constantly by telescreens. They can see everything you do. They can also monitor your facial expressions and even your heartbeat. This book is dark, dreary, and depressing. Super depressing. It's also one of the most important novels ever written. It serves as a stark warning against the dangers and horrors of totalitarianism and socialist utopian thinking. It explores the nature of reality and truth. Like, what is truth? Is truth an objective reality that we should all be able to agree on, or is it this abstract manifestation of, what's in each individual's mind, or what we can each conceive of to be true? This book is just filled with unsettling quotes that really stick with you. Like, everything faded into mist. The past was erased, the erasure was forgotten, the lie became the truth. It was as though some huge force were pressing down upon you, something that penetrated inside your skull, battering against your brain, frightening you out of your beliefs, persuading you almost to deny the evidence of your senses. And don't you see that the whole aim of Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible, because there will be no words in which to express it. Okay, let's talk about the movie 1984. It came out appropriately in 1984. It was directed by Michael Radford and stars John Hurt as Winston. Susanna Hamilton plays Julia, who I didn't mention when I was talking about the book, but Julia is a love interest of Winston's. And Susanna Hamilton, I think, was cast perfectly because she is exactly how I pictured Julia when I read the book. A couple differences that I noticed in the movie is, first of all, they do this thing with their hands like this, the party members. And I don't think there's ever any mention of any hand signal like that in the book. Also, the party members refer to each other as brother and sister in the movie.
On your own, brother?
But in the book, they call each other comrades. And I'm not sure why they changed that. Maybe because when this movie came out, we were still in the midst of the Cold War with the USSR, but the book, they call each other comrades, and that's an important distinction because, that's a direct reference to, the Soviet terminology. This movie does stay pretty close to the book. However, it's kind of boring. You don't feel the crushing oppression of the party as much as you do in the book. And therefore, you don't really connect with the main character of Winston and his mission to bring the party down. And, the movie just doesn't pack the same punch as the book, or leave you with the same sense of hopelessness and dread. Normally, I'm a fan of show, don't tell when it comes to movies, but I feel like this movie would have benefited from a bit more exposition. I feel like the writer and director relied too heavily on the viewer having read the novel. You don't really get a sense of the magnitude of surveillance and just control of everyday life exerted by the party and how it operates, like the 4 separate ministries. Maybe some narration would have helped this movie a little bit. As I alluded to in the opening, I first read 1984 in high school, but I feel like I didn't fully appreciate it back then. But now, having read it as a 30-year-old, I feel like I truly grasp its profoundness and importance. And I feel like in 2020, this book is just as important and timely as ever. And I'll just leave it at that. The book 1984, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. So of course, it's better than the movie. What are your thoughts? Comment below. I want to hear what you have to say about the book and the movie if you've seen it. And stay tuned for more videos in the near future. My next video will be Ghostbusters. I will compare the original 1984 movie to the 2016 remake. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you later.